Costco is the only company on earth that wants you to pay them for the privilege of losing their money. And last year, they made $8 billion doing exactly that. Most people think they're in a grocery store, but if you look at their ledger, they didn't actually make a single cent selling you groceries. In fiscal 2025, Costco's membership fees brought in over $5 billion. Their entire profit margin is almost exactly the amount people pay just to walk through the door. The math is impossible. It means the gas, the tires, the electronics, and the 3-pound bags of organic kale are all just a break-even hobby. Costco isn't a retail store. It's a multi-billion-dollar membership club that happens to have a warehouse attached to it. And we pay $60 a year for the privilege of being part of the experiment. Most people think they're saving money when they buy a 48-pack of eggs. But Costco isn't thinking about eggs. They're thinking about your renewal date. Every square inch of that concrete floor is designed to remind you that your $60 was an investment that you must justify by spending $500 more. You aren't shopping. You're being harvested. And the scariest part? We're the ones who handed them the bucket. To understand the masterpiece, we have to look at the negative operating cycle. Most retailers buy a product, put it on a shelf, and pray someone buys it before the bill from the supplier is due. If a product sits for 60 days, the store has to use its own cash to pay the bill. Costco flipped the script. Because they only carry about 3,700 items compared to Walmart's 100,000, their inventory moves at a staggering velocity. They sell their entire warehouse of goods every 30 days. But here's the hidden system. Costco doesn't pay its suppliers for 35 days. 35 days. Do the math. For 5 days every month, Costco is sitting on billions of dollars of your money before they have to hand it over. They aren't just selling rotisserie chickens. They are running a multi-billion-dollar hedge fund fueled by your Sunday afternoon grocery run. While other CEOs are sweating over high-interest loans, Costco is using a 5-day float to fund their global expansion. You are giving them an interest-free loan every time you buy a flat of canned tuna. It's a bank that pays its interest in cheap hot dogs and the illusion of a bargain. Let's talk about that $4.99 chicken. It's the most famous loss leader in history. Costco loses roughly $40 million a year just to keep that price at $5. But here's the hidden mechanic. A few years ago, the poultry industry tried to raise prices. Most stores would have just raised the price on the label. Not Costco. Instead, they went to Nebraska and built their own billion-dollar vertically integrated chicken processing plant. They became their own supplier. They control the grain, the hatching, and the processing for 2 million chickens a week. They didn't just win the market. They built a fortress around it. They would rather spend $1 billion on a farm than admit to you that the price of lunch went up. It's a display of industrial dominance disguised as a family dinner. It's a warning to every other supplier. Play by our rules, or we'll just build our own version of you. If you've ever wondered why the laundry detergent moved from aisle 4 to the back of the store, it wasn't an accident. It's engineered psychology called the treasure hunt. Unlike a normal grocery store, Costco doesn't want you to be efficient. They want you lost. They rotate inventory deliberately to spark a dopamine hit. Oh look, a kayak next to the fine jewelry. When humans encounter unpredictable rewards, we buy more. It's a psychological hostage situation. You pay $60 for the privilege of spending $500 more on a jar of pickles the size of a toddler. And you do it because of the membership sunk cost. You've already paid $60 to enter the club, so now you feel a moral obligation to justify the fee. Brilliant. It's exactly why they don't put signs in the aisles. They want you wandering through the concrete labyrinth until your willpower breaks. By the time you find the exit, you've spent 3 times your budget, and you're still not sure where they put the bread. Let's talk about Kirkland Signature, a brand that generated $90 billion in revenue last year. That makes a store brand bigger than most Fortune 500 companies. Kirkland is Costco's ultimate corporate middle finger. They use it as a pricing threat. If a national brand like Coke or Huggies raises prices, Costco puts a Kirkland version right next to it for 20% less. Shocker, it's often the same product from the same factory. They've convinced the market that the Kirkland label is the smart play. Kirkland isn't just a label, it's a logistics choke point. They control the manufacturing, the shelf space, and your perception of value. By making the store brand premium, they've eliminated the need to compete on anything but their own terms. It's a toll booth on the road to dinner. And the toll is your entire profit margin. Finally, we have the hot dog, the 150 covenant. It hasn't changed price since 1985. It's not food, it's a trust anchor. If you know the hot dog is still $1.50, you assume the television in aisle 6 is also a great deal. It's the last piece of the American dream that hasn't succumbed to inflation, even if it's served in a concrete box. So, next time you're standing in that receipt line, the one that exists just to make sure the cashier didn't forget to charge you for that 40-pound bag of salt, just remember, you aren't the customer. You're the financier of a global system that has mastered the art of taking your money before you even know you've spent it. Look, the algorithm is its own hidden system. If you want to stay connected to these breakdowns, do the things the machine likes. Like the video, leave a comment, and subscribe to Hidden Business Ops. It's the only way to make sure the system keeps us in the same loop. Or don't. YouTube has probably already decided what you're watching next anyway. As for me, I'm going to see if I can find the exit without accidentally buying a 12-person gazebo. Good luck out there.